Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is yet another ATR hot take. Now, it's been a minute since we've done one of these. Sam and I talking about Cody Rhodes coming over possibly to WWE after his AEW contract ended. And well, we all know what's been going on with Cody Rhodes as of late. So I figure since the WWE Draft is back, I figured it's time that we do yet another video for it. But this time, I have 1/5 of ATR, the newest member, going for that heavyweight title. We'll see what happens when Night of Champions happens in late May. This man is he covers the land of the rising sun. He covers all of our New Japan stuff. He is Ethan. Ethan, how are you doing today, buddy?
Good, how you up, brother? And by the way, Zach won because my picks don't count. I call bullshit.
I know.
In the words of Chelsea Green, I'm filing a complaint.
Just gonna talk to the manager. Like, all right, well, that's
in all seriousness, I'm joking, but in all seriousness, I did know coming in. This guy's like, yours won't count. But hey, I did good though.
You did. I'm pretty sure Zach's already afraid of coming, because this year we got more points that are going to be on the line and more options for all five of us to be able to go after that title. Because I want my title back. I'm not gonna lie. I had a good year.
Not to brag, but the Rumble I got all 5 matches, right? The Chamber I suck. I'm gonna pretend that didn't even happen. Mania, I did better on night 2. I think I got like 2 or 3 right. I did horrible on night 2.
It's funny, like since I graduated from college, I got a point in every single one since then. So I'm thinking to myself, well, clearly my brain was on thinking of other things. So this bodes well for this year. So I'm hoping I get some good points going in. So, but
I'm gonna actually sack that. But I'm gonna take that title. But let's talk about the draft.
But yes, tonight we are here to talk WWE Draft. We'll give some hot takes, think who's going where, if we're going to have some NXT call-ups, if we're going to have some tag teams breaking up. So I will go with my first pick for who I think will be jumping ship, and then I'll throw it over to you, Ethan. We can kind of go back and forth and have some fun with that. So I think one of the big movers, obviously we kind of all feel like Roman's staying on SmackDown. And I think that Seth Rollins will move over. He'll stay on Raw. So they'll keep those two separated because, before we get into picks, let's talk about the new World Heavyweight Championship that was announced on Monday Night Raw by Triple H. Thoughts?
It's such a beautiful title. I think me and Scott marked out the most in the of the 5 ones.
Yeah, I was real impressed with it. I get it. I get it. People are like, it's still got the ugly W's in the middle. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of
fair. That's fair.
Yeah, it is a fair criticism of it, but it's a lot less gaudy than I think the current titles are. It's a little bit of an ode to the Big Gold title, which is my favorite title, the only title that I currently own. But I think with this one might be number 2. We'll see how it goes. And they did say that they will crown a new champion at Night of Champions on May 27th from Saudi Arabia. So we don't know anything if there's going to be a tournament, which I hope, because your boy loves his tournaments. And
Me too.
And to crown a new champion, I think it'd be only fitting that if we don't have things leading up to it, that we have the majority of those matches happen at Night of Champions to crown your crown your new World Heavyweight Champion. So, but with all that happening, we need to figure out where the pieces are going to go first. So let's talk this draft. So for me, I think a big shift will be moving from SmackDown to Raw, and that's going to be LA Knight. Yeah. I think that while he has done well on SmackDown, he's had his first couple of feuds not work out so well. So I think moving him over to the Red brand, I think would do him a lot of good. But But yeah, that's my first hot take swap of brands. So what about you? What do you think?
I like that one. That's so beautiful. Um, hmm. I can see Cody staying on Raw. To
Yep.
be honest with you. Hmm. I gotta pick up a switch one. I'm gonna
Well,
be
one
a
good
little.
thing, while you mentioned Cody, he actually, I think he might draft to SmackDown because I think he's going to want to stay on the Roman train.
Ooh.
That wasn't one of my picks because I kind of figured that they would make that jump because him winning the world heavyweight title, I think, would kind of look more like a consolation prize for not being
Second place, yeah.
yeah, for not being able to beat Roman at WrestleMania. I know a lot of that's a big thing too. A lot of people are saying that this title is just a consolation prize. I mean, I see the criticism. It's fair. I kind of want to lean more towards this is kind of like what happened with the undisputed title when Brock stayed on SmackDown and said that he wasn't going to Raw regardless. I know the title was kind of doing a little bit of a hot potato after Jericho had lost to Triple H, but I still feel like this new title can have its own standing, and having a good champion that's not Cody Rhodes, I think will be a good stepping stone, but a good platform to raise this new title's credibility.
I agree with that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Cody does go to SmackDown, but for predictions, I'm gonna say he stays on Raw.
Okay, cool. All
I'm
right.
probably gonna be way wrong, but I mean,
No, no, no. I mean, honestly, we don't know. We're just guessing. That's the whole point. We're doing hot takes, and it is what it is.
I think Cody stays on Raw, but I think he'll still chase Roman. I don't think because, like you said, like with the world heavyweight title, gotta get used to saying that again.
I know.
Um, well, I'm so used to saying Universal or WWE or
Right.
Undisputed, like 50,000.
I know.
But I feel like if you, like you said, if you wins the world title, oh, good, here you came close. Here's your second prize, second
Right.
place, Cody. But and that's what a lot of people say on Twitter, like I seen, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's all right. I can't argue that, and somebody I forget who it was, so they're like, oh, they're never taking off Roman at this rate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I it's funny. Like I keep joking about this, but like for months and months and months, I've been saying that Roman's not going to drop this title until WrestleMania 40. And then after he won at 39, I was like, all right. So unless it's going to be SummerSlam, he's not dropping it until Philly in WrestleMania 40. So
I honestly I can't see him dropping it this year, to be honest with you.
right. Yeah. I mean, they'll find a way. He's taking his long vacation, which is what he said he was going to do anyways. So let him enjoy it. We'll see where the draft goes. If we'll see if he shows up on SmackDown, probably not, but he's going to be the first pick no matter where or who drafts. He's going to go wherever that is.
I got my top 5, the first 5, I think.
Perfect.
Well, you said one was Roman, so we're both in agreement on that one.
Right.
I'm gonna say Cody would be the second.
Yep.
Rollins be third.
Okay.
Oh, Brock.
Okay.
I see. I'm kind of questionable with Brock, but we'll get to him in a sec. My fifth one. Oh, that's tough. I literally just what did I write down for my fifth? I'm gonna go with an NXT guy, Ilya Dragunov.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Or Gunther.
Now that's an interesting question. You mentioned Gunther because I have Imperium as a group moving over to Raw because I have Austin Theory moving over to SmackDown. So Intercontinental and IC and the US title will switch brands again. So I feel like we'd have a full move because breaking up Imperium would be a disastrous move because we all know what happened the first time that happened. So we'll just kind of leave that as it is.
Marcel Bartel went to Ludwig Kaiser. Giovanni or Fabian Eigner went to Giovanni Vinci. That was the fashion gimmick, but thank God it died. Love all three of them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to keep up.
Honestly, though, like I'm not mad at any of their name changes. I think they're really well done.
I will admit, though, I admit the Gunther one that went like crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean that was a that was a
Don't blame
big
on that one.
that
But
was a
the
big adjustment for a lot of people, but I like the way he kind of broke that down as to why he changed his
Mhm.
name. So I mean, you gave a bit of a backstory to it, so I'm like, all right, now I can kind of understand it. But yeah, a lot of people are gonna say this man's Walter. I don't care what anybody says. It is what it's always gonna be Walter,
when he
and
fir-
that's fine. And
when I
that's
first when I first heard he changed his name because he beat Rockstar on NXT, and by the way, I think me and Scott are probably like the only like 20 people that watch NXT now. When he changed his name to Gunther, I'm like, but I grew up on and I was one of those people like, I'm not calling you Gunther. I'm like, you know what? I'm not bothering with this fight anymore. And then Luvic, I didn't mind. I hated it at first, but I'm like, you know what? That actually sounds kind of badass now.
yeah, it does. It really grew on me real quick. And even the Giovanni Vinci, it
That
kind of
one
went
took
off
me a
to
little longer to get used to.
yeah. I mean, I didn't really. I wasn't a huge fan of him in NXT, but when he came back up and joined Imperium again, it just worked better.
Mhm.
And the whole group is just back together again. It's just
Thank God.
I want to see more of the tag team between Kaiser and Vinci. Let them have more time to wrestle. So I think if they move over to Raw, they might have a better chance to be able to do that because they have a longer show. So
Well, since we're going with tag teams, I got one Judgment Day.
okay.
Oh, I forgot to say what brand. Oh shit,
I think they're currently on Raw.
they
So
are. Yes,
so move them to SmackDown because obviously I think Rhea will be drafted to SmackDown with Bianca obviously staying on Raw. Yeah,
please no belt swaps,
oh, I
please.
know. We all know what happened the last time they did those belt swaps. Yeah, that was yeah, I was not a fan of that whatsoever.
Oh, not
Um
Becky wasn't either because I guess like her and that was legit. That was a shoot,
yeah. Yep.
shooting brother.
Yeah. Worked
But like
ourselves into a shoot.
when she threw the title, like when Charm for the title, Becky, I'm like, that was a shoot.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
could tell. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, there
But
was that.
please, no, no. Same with Austin Theory and Gunther. Please don't. I remember with the tag titles before they combined them. Um, I remember Street Profits and New Day, I think, switched.
Yep. Yep.
I was like, really?
Yeah.
I hate when they do that. Please don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, so just take the leave the ladies where they are, bring the Judgment Day over. I think that'll work out just fine. um Another choice that I want to see is I want to see Asuka move over from Raw to SmackDown.
Ooh,
She's done well on Raw, but I want to kind of see her maybe go after Rhea at some point. So
yes, please.
yeah, so move her over to SmackDown.
That one I could agree on. Well, Bianca should stay on Raw because
Right,
obviously Raw Women's title.
right.
I'm trying to think of the women. See, they all go back between the brands. I'm trying to keep. It's hard to keep track of
Yeah, where
who's
their home
actually.
brand is. Yeah.
Now, here's the question: are they actually gonna stick with this, or are they gonna say, "Okay, let's just for a couple weeks"? And all right, you know what? Let's do the fucking brand switch.
I've 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 seen a bunch of stuff online talking about how um the the brands wanna or the television stations want them to have definitive rosters and not do so much mixing back and forth. Whether that's actually gonna happen, we'll see.
Mm.
Um, I would like that because I enjoy the brand split. I think it's good. It gives more wrestlers an opportunity to actually be able to have TV time and be able to develop their brand, their individual brand. Um, I would love to see at some point if we continue to do this divide that we have the Survivor Series, where it is I know they want to kind of go away from the Raw versus SmackDown, but I my favorite one of my favorite ones was when they had NXT versus Raw versus SmackDown. I
Oh,
thought that was a lot of fun.
that one was fun.
NXT mopped the floor with both of them. I'm like, let's freaking go. This is great. So I don't know. That's just what I think. But I'm not gonna lie. I was at last year's Survivor Series for the War Games match, and oh
I
dear,
remember you were talking about. I remember that.
oh man, that was so much fun.
Was it hard
So
to see
yeah,
the War Games match
oh
in part?
yeah, like as I knew I'd never be able to go to It was like this funny thing. Like I knew that I would never be able to go to an NXT show, because I'm not going to travel all the way down to Florida for one show. This was going to be in Boston. It's the first time it's ever been on the main roster.
Yeah.
uh, and it's one of the big five. I Survivor Series is one of the ones I haven't been able to go to yet. So it was a very last minute thing. I found out that I had some other friends from college when I was up here the first time that was going to the show, and I'm just like, screw it. All right, let's find a good ticket. And I sat on camera side. Um, if you're looking at from like the hard cam, I was up and over to the right. But I was on the not the floor, but the next one up. So I paid a pretty penny for it, but it was amazing. I had so much fun.
Yeah, I remember you were talking about that, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go." I'm like, "Oh, look, quick, fight Scott. Where is he?"
Yeah.
Feels like I'm playing Where's Waldo.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah.
I did
So
that
yeah,
with Sam at GCW. I'm like, "Where's Sam?"
you were saying gotta try to find Sam.
Find the Hawaiian shirt, then you
Yeah,
find
yeah,
Sam.
pretty much. Yep, that's yep, yeah. For those of you who don't know, if Sam ever goes to shows, he's always in a Hawaiian shirt. So if you see him, little short guy, that's my buddy Sam.
Sam, 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 Sam. Oh, speaking of tag teams, PW Insider said Pretty Deadly is going, might be called up, and I think it's time for them to go up.
I agree. I agree. Yep, they were one of my NXT
SmackDown.
picks. Yes, I think SmackDown would be a great spot for them. I know we joked about this earlier before we started recording, but for God's sakes, give them Tyler Breeze as their manager.
Yes.
Oh my God, I think it'd be so much fun to see that happen.
Me and you were talking about that. Yeah, I was like, "Oh, Tyler Breeze." Well, I said Maximum Model, and then I'm like, "No, actually, Breeze sounds better."
Yeah, Breeze would be good. I think Maximum Male Model is going to be doing its own thing.
They got Otis,
Right,
OT.
exactly. That actually, we want to talk about tag teams. I have two tag teams that are, or two groups that might be splitting up here. I think Alpha Academy, I think Chad Gable is going to get drafted over to SmackDown, and leave Ortiz and the Maximum Male Models on Raw.
I agree with that.
And this one's been going around for a while. Butch is going to be traded or drafted over to Raw, return to being Pete Dunne, and then you'll have Sheamus and, my God, I forgot his name.
Rich Holland.
Ben Holland, thank you, over on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Whether they stay as a tag team or if Sheamus goes off on his own and maybe Ridge goes back to NXT, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm very excited for Pete Dunne to return.
Oh my God! Please bring back.
Yeah.
I found since Triple H took over. I mean, everybody's knows like he went back to the old singlet, basically doing Pete Dunne stuff without giving his
without the name. Yeah, he's just Butch as Pete Dunne, or Pete Dunne as Butch.
See, I remember when they first introduced him as Butch. I was like, because I know he's called the Bruiserweight. Like you couldn't call him like if he said, "Okay, my new name's the Bruiser."
Yeah, it would have fit a little better. Yeah,
I would have less complaint. And then Butch, I mean, that's not speaking of name changes. That's one that took me a while to get because the first couple weeks I'm like Pete Dunne, fuck, it's Butch. Why do you look like that school? Why do you look like that school paper boy from like the 1920s?
I know he was a newsie. He was essentially a newsie when they first came out. But yeah, I'm so glad that at least that's what a lot of things are being pointed that he's going to go over. He's going to be separated from the Brawling Brutes and go back to being his Pete Dunne name, which thank God for that.
If Dragunov gets called up, can I please have Dunne versus Dragunov again?
Oh my God, yes.
Please, they had a banger.
That'd be great. The only reason why I didn't actually have him on my NXT call-ups is because he's right now in the middle of that program with Dijak.
Forgot about that for a second.
Dijak, I think Dijak will eventually get called back up to the main roster as well because I really like what he's done with his new character.
Mm-hmm.
But I think him and Ilya, that's going to be brutal to watch, and I'm excited for it.
Me too. Like I said, Scott, me and you're the only two out of probably like 30 people watch NXT. The new NXT, I should say. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. The third or fourth iteration of NXT at this point.
NXT 4.0.
I know, right? Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, yeah, 2.0 almost killed NXT as a brand completely. So I'm
The
glad that
Nickelodeon Arena.
oh my god, it was god. It's like I'm watching Splatoon, but with wrestling. Like my god. Um but one other thing, one other interesting storyline before we really dive into the NXT call-ups. I think they're gonna do a storyline, and Kira Tozawa actually brought this up. I think Baron Corbin is gonna go undrafted, and
Yes.
it's gonna
Heath
turn into
Slater story.
some it's gonna turn into some ridiculous thing where he probably goes back to being bum Corbin, or maybe he shows up in NXT trying to get a job. And I hope they really do something with this, because Baron Corbin, as much as people hate this man, he is one hell of a talent. He can do pretty much anything. And I really feel like if they don't draft him and this turns into like an amazing storyline, I think that this will be probably one of the best things in 2023.
Yeah,
So
my two
that in itself is a hot take for me. So
my two favorites were gimmicks of course was the Lone Wolf when he came. I guess his theme song was metal and love heavy metal. As
right.
tattoo on my arm.
Yeah.
And the bum ass, that's my bum ass takes over the Lone Wolf, but those were my two favorite. But I think he goes on kind of like what Heath did in 2016.
Yes. Yes. That was kind of what I was going to go back to, because I love that whole with Heath not getting drafted. Yeah, and that storyline was great too, rolling through as it did. So I hope they do something similar with Corbin. But that's it for like my main roster stuff. Like a lot of the main people, you can kind of expect them to stay. I don't expect to be that many big shakeups. But for NXT, obviously there's a lot of talent that I think are on the cusp or are pretty much there, but they're just waiting for the draft to make the jump. So for me, we already talked about Pretty Deadly. So after spring break-in on Tuesday, it was pretty self-evident that they're done with NXT.
Yeah.
So they're sleeping with the fishes at the moment. So they'll take a little bit of time and probably get drafted over to SmackDown, or they won't draft and then they'll just randomly show up. So we'll see what happens. Another person,
exclusives.
right? Another person I think is ready to go. We haven't seen him in a while. Is Cameron Grimes. I know he's probably on the moon at the moment, but I think he's going to get drafted. Another person that I think is ready to go is Tyler Bate. He's kind of. I know he's probably going to be in Wesley's corner this upcoming NXT, but I feel like he's ready to go to get moved up. And then two wild cards that I kind of have, and I read something about this today, and I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. The first one is Andre Chase, getting his goodbye match after Braun destroyed him on Tuesday. Maybe it's time for him to graduate to the main roster. Does he bring his team with him? Who knows? Probably not. I don't know. It's kind of just an out there thing. And then my last one, I saw that this young lady has really impressed people, is Cora Jade.
Yeah.
So I think Cora would be a good fit. Probably maybe on Raw. Get her on Raw first. So we'll see what happens with that.
See, I agree. See, well, Brad, we already talked about, but Cameron Grimes is definitely Tyler Bate. He had an excellent match with our main event. Yes, main event still on TV.
Right.
Go check that one out. That was actually an excellent match. That's an Ethan pick, by the way. Go check that one out.
Nice.
Honestly, he should have been up years ago. Honestly,
true.
And I kind of said Ilya. Cora was on main event this week. By the way, Scott, spoiler. She's on main. Well, she's from Chicago, so you kind of figure hometown.
Right.
I do agree on Andre because he did tweet out some about new beginnings, so probably main roster. Grayson Waller.
Okay. All right. Whether he actually got injured or not on Tuesday, which I think he did, and if that's the case, then that sucks. But no, that's a good pick. If he doesn't get drafted, yeah, I think he might randomly start showing up on a show at some point.
I know they had him on the main roster when he's doing an agent, but the fans had they were dead. They're like,
right.
Like, who's that guy? But I mean, I don't think what else, because he had 3 shots at the NXT title, lost all 3.
Right.
I think he's kind of above the North American title and the Heritage Cup.
Okay.
I mean, he probably. You know what? I kind of want to see him hold the Heritage Cup and just do a drink out of it. um,
Replace the top with a golden shoe.
like I said, Alien, but I forgot he's being with Dijak. They'll, unless, like you said, Scott, they'll probably come up after the draft. I seen Roxanne's name being up called out a lot,
That's true.
and
That's
Zoe.
true. And Zoe, yeah, that's true. I forgot about Zoe Stark. Yeah. You're right. I think she's another one that really doesn't have a whole lot of direction on NXT at the moment. So I think, yeah, I think that would be a good call up. Yeah, it'd be nice to have some more good female wrestlers show up back on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown.
I think if I could see Cora going to Raw, like you, I agree with you on that one. I could see Roxanne doing SmackDown.
True.
Zoe could do Raw, maybe. I'm trying to think who has the last. No, I should go with SmackDown.
Mm.
But I seen a lot of people said Jason Jane and Gigi Dolan, but honestly, I don't see them yet.
No, that yeah, they have to finish their blood feud in
I,
NXT first.
I think that'll end at
Um,
Battleground, by the way.
that's true. That is true.
But wild cards, if I had to pick one, I was gonna see this one. This might come to shot. Here's my hot Carmelo Hayes, but he's NXT champion. Before he won the title, I was like, oh, he's getting called to the main roster.
Right.
But since he's NXT champ, they probably won't. I mean, Braun was on there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then who's my other one? Oh, maybe Drew Gulak again.
Okay. Do you think he brings Charlie Dempsey with him?
Yes,
Okay.
the Gulak comeback club.
Yeah. My God, that's right. No, I
If
think
it,
that would be pretty good.
well, Drew back. I should recall up to the main roster for Drew, but debut for Charlie. Because he's probably not winning the North American title on Tuesday. It would be cool him to hold it, don't get me wrong, but
That's
I don't
true.
think Wesley's been honestly of all the North American champions, he's like one of the best ones.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that one. Yeah, I don't think he's dropping the title anytime soon. So
I think it's a little too soon, honestly. I know he won it six when he won it Halloween Havoc.
yes, I think
So
so. Yes.
6, 7 end of last year, I know that, but I mean, hey, Banger, Dijak,
Yep.
Banger, that 5-way at Stand Deliver,
Yep.
Axiom, Frazier, more people.
Yeah.
I like how I like when they say open challenges and then they brawl in the back.
Yes. Yes. That's been a lot of fun to watch.
And then but yeah, on the main
Absolutely.
roster, they're like, so no one's coming out. Like, we're see this one thing I do like with NXT, like if they had title shot, all right, let's fucking fight. Race out there, right?
Right.
But somebody said Tiffany Stratton, but I can't see Tiffany on there. I
Yeah.
like Tiffany. I think it's
Yeah.
just too soon for her. Me and you were talking
Right.
about this before we recorded.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she was saying that she herself has already said that she would like to stay in NXT for a little while longer. You know, get some more seasoning and fine tuning, and which I like that being able to be that self aware. That she realizes that she's not. You know, she wants to stay put. She wants to keep fine tuning things. So I like that. But eventually, yes, probably within a year or two, absolutely, she'll be up on the main roster and just be having her Tiffany's epiphanies all over the place. So I'm looking forward to it. Any more possible NXT side from your side?
Schism.
Schism? Well, is that before before or after whatchamacallit, the Grizzled Young Veterans tweeted out that they are free agents as of October. So
Oh yeah. Well, here's why I said. Well, okay, but that was before. But like, because they're doing the Battle of Joes on Tuesday.
that's true. That is
Because
true.
because stipulation is if Gacy wins, they get a title shot. If they lose, if Coffee wins, they don't. As long as Gallus champions,
Right.
I could see them because I think Gacy did main event tapes because that's basically their like main roster trial, right? It's doing main event.
Right.
I could see them being on there, but I don't know. I thought Gallus be up there, but they're champs right now, so
Right. I mean, Gallus has been gone for a while for their, being um suspended and whatnot. So
visa issues and stuff. Yeah,
right. Yeah, and the visa issues. Yeah, that was the real reason. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, the WWE draft starts on Friday and will continue on the following Monday. And of course, squished in between that is Backlash from from Puerto Rico, which has a pretty decent card as well. We'll talk about that on a different thing, but right now this is our ATR hot takes. Ethan, once again, thank you so much, my friend, for being on here tonight. I really truly appreciate this.
No problem, buddy.
It's nice to have another WWE guy. The longest time it's just been me. Because Sam and John afterwards, they got too much stuff to do, so I get it. But yeah, if you don't already, please follow us on Twitter at Above the Ring. You can find myself as Scotty J Stream, and Ethan is wrestling underscore.
Yeah, I just dropped my stuff.
I know we always screw up your stuff, and I feel so bad.
That's okay. So you can
Ethan,
follow
what's
me
your
on
Twitter?
You can follow me on Twitter at wrestling_fan_9. You can follow me on PW Media, where I review every fucking promotion you can think of. Pro Wrestling Post, I do classic retro reviews of all Japan Pro Wrestling ECW. You can follow me on my own show, The Walk with Ethan Wrestling Podcast, Fridays and Sundays. Fridays I talk about the Monday for Thursday shows, and then Sundays I talk about obviously the Friday weekend shows. Of course, you can follow me on Above the Ring. Scott would know that because I post all the New Japan stuff and
That's
Facebook page where I post Noah, All Japan, Stardom, New Japan. But you can follow me there. So, but yeah, I mean, I love talking with wrestling all the time. So
I know we love having you with us. And seriously, it's been a lot of fun, and I look forward to kicking your butt this year in the wrestling.
Okay. Hey, I kicked your ass as a WrestleMania night one. Shut up. If my predictions count, I love you, man. But I probably would have had it.
But yeah, you can find us on Facebook at Ship It Above the Ring. You can find us on Instagram and on YouTube is _above the ring. But yeah, you can find us everywhere, all streaming platforms. If you are listening on one that we're not a part of, let us know. We'll add ourselves to it, then we can do all your one-stop podcast shopping and add a little bedlam to your day. Once again, my name is Scott. I am the man behind the Twitter of Above the Ring. I'm also wrestling's voice of reason. Thank you so much for listening. This has been ATR's Hot Takes on the WWE Draft. We'll see what happens. We'll see how right we are or how wrong we are. But, of course, most importantly, do not forget to ship it. Enjoy the bedlam. Have a good night.